Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where I will be talking about how to learn, practice and execute StarCraft 2 build orders. Keep in mind that given the topic, it is mostly intended for newer players, however I think there will be a couple of tips for more experienced players as well in the video. So let's get started. First of all, we need some build orders. If you are gold or below, I would recommend to go on YouTube and search safe build order and copy that with the method I'll be showing later in the video. But if you are above gold, I would suggest you to have at least one macro build per matchup. That means 3 per race, 9 if you are playing random. You can get some cheesy quick all-in type builds as well if that's what you prefer, but if you would like to improve long term by building good habits, I would much more recommend learning a stable macro build order to start with. You can get your build orders from several different places, but ideally you would like to copy it from a replay, because with the replay you have the ability to pause the game and look at different metrics such as worker count and production. You can also learn a build order from a YouTube video from your favorite StarCraft YouTubers. Usually they have a replay linked in the description as well. Also, spawningtool.com is a great resource and it has many pro replays. Alright, so you got the first thing out of the way, you looked up a build order to learn. So what's next? Well, you need to open the build order source, whether it's replay or a video, and you need to write down the production by minutes and seconds. I prefer to do this on a little notepad I have, which I can put next to my monitor while practicing. If you have a second monitor or you want to use your phone, you can do that too. I just find that the physical act of writing down the build order also helps me memorizing it at the same time. I would also like to mention that there is a mod in SC2 called mbot, which lets you to have your build order displayed in a custom practice game. The way you can start it is you go on the custom tab, click melee, then click create with mod, and just put mbot in the search bar. Create the lobby and run the game, and you copy the text in the get salt encoding field on spawningtool.com, paste it into the build order and you're good to go. Now here's a tip I referred to earlier. Don't use the supply count when learning a new build order, use the game time instead. Why, you ask? It's because the production of one worker, which costs 1 supply, takes 12 seconds. So if you say you need to build a pylon at 14 out of 15 instead of 17 seconds, it can be a lot easier to miss a couple of seconds. And don't forget, mistakes at the beginning of the game like this can accumulate very quickly into significant delay down the line. The reason why we used to use supply instead of the game time is because before Legacy of the Void came out, the game time was faster compared to real time, and therefore to avoid any confusion we used the supply instead. There are several different game speeds, and normal speed is the real time speed, as you can see on this chart, but players preferred faster online games and therefore picked the faster game speed, which is 1.4 seconds faster than a real time second. Okay, now we got this confusion out of the way, I'll show you an example of how you should copy a build order. Alright, so I just wanted to do a quick live demonstration of how would you learn a build order from a replay. So what you want to do is obviously fire up the replay and then bring up the production tab with the D hotkey, or you can just manually bring it down here, bring it up production. And whenever something gets built or produced, you write it down. So for example, here's a pylon, it got built at 17 seconds, so you put down, okay, make a pylon at 17 seconds. Then, as you can see, gateway is getting built, and it got built at 40 seconds. You can put it down a couple seconds faster if you're really on point with your build, but that's, a couple seconds it's going to be alright. And you want to carry on to the end of the build order, which can be around 6:30, 7 minutes if it's a macro build. And then you want to write down how many units exactly the player has at the end of it. Also want to make sure you pay attention to different things. For example, if you're playing Protoss, make sure you're paying attention at the chrono boost times, how many times the player chrono boosts and what exactly gets chrono boosted. Also make sure if you can abuse the AI what you're practicing against, etc, etc, and you go to the end of the build. So I go to the end of the replay. As you can see, we ended up with 78 probes, 10 zealots, 2 adepts, 14 stalkers and 3 oracles. So when you're going to practice next, in a custom game, you aiming to have the same amount of units and the same structures as the player in the replay you're learning from. And here we are in a custom game, trying to replicate what we've seen in the replay, trying to make sure that everything is on time and everything is built correctly according to the replay.
You have not enough
First time is a bit late, but that's okay. When you're practicing yourself, whatever build you're practicing, this is generally the process you want to do. You want to do this a couple times before you take the build to the ladder against real opponents. Alright, so I got to the end of my build order practice. As you can see, I managed to hit almost exactly the same amount of units as I've outlined ourselves from the replay before. So I'm pretty confident taking this build order to the ladder now to practice against real opponents, and you should be able to if you follow the steps in the video outlined before. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more guys like this or other StarCraft memes, and hope you all have a great day. Bye!